Hey guys and gals, let's take a look at the Great Pyramid of Giza. This is by Lego Architecture, set number 21058, contains 1476 bricks. So, besides the dark, gloomy box, which I hate, this doesn't look too bad of a build. So it looks like we got ourselves a very large pyramid and some other stuff in front. Let's take a look at the back of the box. Here's all the various sections, and this thing is heavy. So this thing's about to fall down and kill me here. So it looks like the top removes, and here we have the pyramids on top in real life. And this is what I wish was on the front of the box, is this right here. So here's all the various stuff, and it does stand, I think it's 20 centimeters or 8 inches. So that's about half the size of this box. Well, I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like when it's all assembled. So let's head over to the Lego table. Honestly, this is a nice little build. Everything is micro scaled. So here we have the front of the pyramid. We have ourselves a little port, if you want to call it that. We have ourselves a little minifigure, or a little statue of a figure. I think those are trophies. And honestly, this thing is packed with a lot of detail. The build quality is pretty good. Nothing repetitious or anything. It was fun to build. Here we have the backs. Looks like we have some excavating going on. I've never been to this pyramid before. Someday I'd like to visit it and do an exploration in person. So we have the various plant work and such. Now it doesn't look like this today. It's obviously dry and barren. We have some waterfront right here. And the only thing I can see that's fragile is these little trees, some of these little bushes, and of course this pillar thing. Now I don't know what all this stuff is because I'm not an archaeologist. I don't really know a lot about the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now this does come off, and we're going to pop this off, and after we're all done we'll take a closer look. And when you pull this off, it just may want to swing it forward a little bit, and this is pretty much what it looks like right here underneath. I use a lot of those stair pieces for the truss work, and despite when you're building this, it is strong. So here we have a rough structure of a pyramid, and we have a little gold block being hoisted up. This is kind of looped around with a string right here. And here we have a little spot here, looks like where they were excavating to get in here. And I think that's about it. I don't think you could take it apart any more than it is. At first I thought there was a room under here. I also do have a complete exploration of the build process. It's in the description if you're interested. I'll link it to my second channel. So we have various, I'm just taking it these are machines and such to hoist everything up. I don't know. This is a little bit out of my league, I'm not going to lie there. But we have various buildings in the front. Now, nothing repetitious. The build is pretty straightforward, but you have to follow the instructions very carefully. I cannot stress that enough. When you get the set, read ahead in the instructions to make sure that there's no surprises, like you got to build 10 of these things right here. These little wave pieces, you have to build 10 of those, so make sure you read ahead. The frame that it sits on is pretty solid, it's pretty sound. I mean, you wouldn't want to drop this on a concrete floor or anything, but it's pretty strong. Pretty structurally sound. And just for this being an architecture set, it's really nice. Could you use this in a Lego city? You probably could, maybe for a theme park. But as far as for a standalone build, you'll have to finish this side up. So this is left to be finished up for your own personal use. But honestly, this is meant to be a shelf space taker, not sure the term of that, or it just sits on a shelf and looks good. It's meant for that. It's meant as a display piece, nothing more. Is it playable? You know, you do have these little trophy figures and some of these little sailboats here. Could you play with this? I mean, I guess one could. It's not meant for children, so this is not meant for like a 4 or 5-year-old to put together. Even for someone such as myself as a full-grown adult, I was questioning some parts of the build, like where am I supposed to put things at? Like these tiles right here? Yeah, that's a lot of work, as well as the top. But you do get a lot of roof slopes. I mean, look at all that. You have to piece all that together, but with the aid of these trusses here, it makes it really strong. So it's pretty sound, and this set did keep my interest. Here is a close-up of one of the sailboats. I've seen this technique used several times. I've even used this. We got several 1x4 flat tiles with different colored plates underneath to represent different depths of the water. Here we have our, I guess you want to call this a dock, and those are actually wall elements. They have them sitting in there, and they're locked in by a jumper plate, as well as this trophy stand on the top. And that is printed, the Great Pyramid of Giza. We also have a hieroglyphics version. I think that's what that is. Yeah. And I'm going to try to keep the camera as stable as possible. Here we have another boat. It's got a lot of nice green work around here, a lot of greenery. Here's some of the smaller buildings. And yes, it's one of those early mornings again, too. We got two smaller pyramids right here. Looks like it takes you right up inside. I left the top off so we can admire the ruggedness of this. So here's a close-up of some of these sand dune waves. Here's the back, obviously. So, looks like you can just climb up in there. It doesn't look like a very smooth climb. Looks like it's cracked and ready to fall apart. Just debating if this is a tomb right here or something. The manual does have a lot of history on it. Now this right here was pretty fun to put together when I was building this. I'm not sure how they were going to pull that off. I saw it in the manual. I was like, well, how were they going to do this? So it's just basically held together with a few rocker bearing plates, various contraptions and such. They just have this string looped around. Looks like we're hoisting this up with this wheel right here. This doesn't function. It's just there for looks. And all these tiles, basically the stair pieces that hold the pyramid together, the skin, I believe, rest on those. And that is, I believe, metallic gold. It is a nice little build. As you can tell, it's obviously not scaled for minifigures, but I'm sure one could modify this for a theme park, or use it as what it's intended for, as a display piece. Hope everybody enjoyed the tour of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Hoping to visit this one day.